Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. This week, I just wanted to kind of reiterate on something that I've talked about so many times before, and of course, that's time. Something that we have to cherish, something that we cannot buy, we cannot borrow, we cannot produce more of. Just a asset that we have that is, I guess you can put it in the classification as an endangered species because it's something that we can't go back and recycle, if you will. Um, the reason why I say that is because sometimes in life we take so many things for granted and we think that we always have time. We always say, oh, I'll do this, tomorrow when I have time, but then that opportunity might not be able to present itself to you because you never know what's going to happen. We all don't know what could happen, and that's why we have to make sure that we use our time wisely. Um, since high school, I've lost so many friends. It's ridiculous. Um, it's kind of like every time I lose somebody else that I went to school with, I go back and think about the first major loss that I had um, in my lifetime when my best friend was taken from me. And now I'm in another situation where another life that I've known for over 16 years has been taken. And, it's difficult to kind of deal with because of course you think about that person's family, you think about that person's children if they have children. Then you also think about the time that you spent with a person, the time that you could have spent with a person, and you think about just everything gets put into perspective. And then most of us always tend to have that one thought in our head that maybe if I would have did this, something different would have came out of the situation, or maybe if I would have called at this time, then you could have prevented something from happening and everything like that. And as humans, that's what we do. We think of the what ifs and everything. But the thing that we all have to realize, and it's something that's a very hard pill to swallow, is it's something that we really can't question. And I say that because God is always at work. He always has his hand in things. So we can't question God's motives. We can't question God's decisions. God decides to call, somebody home to be with him. That's not something that we're supposed to sit back and say, why, God? Why did you do this? Why did you take this person away? But um, as people, as human beings, the thought always tends to cross our mind, even though we may not be asking directly. It still crosses our mind, like, why did this happen? Or, is there anything that I could have done differently to prevent this from happening? And the answer to that question is it's painful, but no, it's nothing that you could have done differently. It's nothing that you could have went back and changed or anything like that. The answer is no. So then you have to start to deal with it and accept it and everything. Then the mourning process starts and everything like that. um, so it's a very tough road, especially when you lose somebody that's a loved one, especially when you lose a friend that you've known for years and years and years, and sometimes, like I've said before, friendships turn into more than friendships. Sometimes your friends are just like family and everything like that. So you have a lot of memories with, this person or a person that you was either with every day at one point in time, or, you kind of fall off with somebody and then you see them and then you like talk to them like you like nothing ever happened or whatever. That's the times that you have to always cherish. and we can't take anything or anybody for granted. So, I just want us to try and use our time as wisely as possible. Of course, we all have other things that we have to do, other things that we have to keep afloat, mortgage, car note if you got a car note, light bill, just the everyday struggles in life that we deal with. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we make time for the people that are in our lives, for the people that matter, for the people who have some type of influence on you. And also, I wanted to say, if we have somebody that's close to us that is struggling with something, no matter what the situation is, and you see them struggling, instead of sitting there watching them struggle, maybe you should try and help them out. You know what I'm saying? And it's a saying that goes, when you correct an idiot, they're going to be mad at you. But when you correct a wise person, they're going to thank you for it. So, if you're trying to help out a loved one or a friend and you see something that they're going through and you try and help them out, whether it be, money problems, addiction, trying to make a decision, or whatever the case may be, if you see them struggling, it is your job as a friend to help them out and help them get through whatever they're going through, because that's what a friend is supposed to do. It's somebody who's supposed to be there for you. So, with that being said, I just want to encourage everybody, everybody has something that's going on in their life. I talked about weaknesses last week. Everybody has some type of weakness that's tugging at their coattail. And the best way to get through that type of stuff is to get help for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to go out and get professional help unless it's really to that point. But I'm just saying, if you have loved ones around you and somebody who sees you going through this and they've tried to help you before and you kind of shun them away or whatever, and they've tried to help you again, maybe you should just let them help you, because it may be more beneficial, or I know it will be more beneficial to you, which makes it more beneficial to everything else that is connected to you. So, with that being said, I just want to say, rest in peace to my boy John Isabel. We lost you this weekend. It's a tragedy. Two beautiful daughters. He was a father, a son, a husband, a friend, a family member, a brother, and sometimes people take, people for granted. He hit me up the day that he passed away, and I was asleep. So when I woke up, I forgot to hit him back or whatever. So, things like that, you have to try and make sure that you keep a hold on to it, because you never know what could happen, and you never know, what God's plan is or what God has in store for a person. So if you have anybody that you love, that you see suffering through anything, or somebody that, you love, and that you still love this person, and you may have fell off with this person, do what you need to do to make amends and make things right. Because if you don't, you can look up one day and that person can be gone, and then you won't have the chance to make things right when you could have made things right, and then it's going to weigh on your conscience and everything like that. So if you have the time, which most of us say that we never do have the time, but it's always time in a day. It's just the way that we manage our time. So if you have the time, reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, reach out to the people who you may not have spoken to in a while, but that y'all have the relationship. Like, well, I know when I see him, I know when I see her, it's gonna be like, we back like we left something or something. If that's the case, do what you need to do. Reach out to that person, because you never know God's plan, and you never know if God is going to call either one of you home to be in His kingdom. So with that being said, everybody have a blessed week. Everybody put God first, family second. Everything else will follow. Like I said, rest in peace, John Isabel. Rest in peace to all of the people that I have lost since I've been, out of high school. The list is very long. I can't hit every person But R.I.P. Eric Henry. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to the twin. R.I.P. Marcus Bacon. And it's a lot more than just those people. And like I said, it's the list is so long. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. But just like I said, you have the time in the day. Do what you need to do to make everybody you love and everybody who loves you, let them know how you feel and everything like that. With that being said, I'll holler at y'all next week. Peace out.